Welcome to Dark Files Crime Stories, the channel where the darkest corners of reality come to life. Every week, we uncover mysteries, true crimes, and chilling stories that leave a mark. If you want to stay in the know, or see what hides in the shadows, subscribe now, hit the bell to never miss an episode, and get ready to discover the truth few dare to reveal. In the heart of the English countryside, where rolling hills intertwine with ancient, silent woodlands, time seems to flow at a slower pace, almost shielded by a veil of permanence. Life here follows simple patterns, familiar faces, habitual gestures, and a sense of safety that few other places can offer. Yet, the story you're about to hear shows how fragile this calm can be, how cracks can form silently, unnoticed, until everything changes. A story that begins with seemingly trivial events and ends in a nightmare engulfing an entire community. The name that began to emerge amid whispers, old confidences, and connections previously deemed irrelevant was David Hodgson, a man with an ambiguous reputation in the community. He was not a stranger, not one of those unknown monsters sensationalized in the press to frighten people. No. David Hodgson was far more insidious, someone known enough to be greeted on the street, but not enough to reveal the darkness lurking beneath that ordinary facade. He was a solitary man, capable of appearing polite, even kind, but always carrying an indefinable aura, as if a taut rope inside him was ready to snap at any moment. David Hodgson lived near Sandbeck Plantation, the very area where Jenny's belongings had been discovered. At first glance, it seemed like a mere geographic detail. But to investigators trained to recognize patterns invisible to most, this proximity was a powerful warning signal. Who better than a local resident to move freely in such a secluded area without raising suspicion? When officers knocked on David Hodgson's door, he greeted them with an expression wavering between surprise and restrained neutrality. He claimed to know nothing about Jenny's disappearance, saying he learned of it only through flyers posted around town. He spoke little, responding precisely, perhaps too precisely, as if rehearsed. The only sign of tension was his gaze, elusive, unstable, as though any question could strike the one point where he had no defense. Though they lacked immediate evidence, the officers noticed something odd in his movements. Every word seemed measured, every gesture calculated. When asked to allow a search of his home, David Hodgson hesitated, not long, perhaps less than a second, but long enough for investigators to sense the nervousness bubbling under his calm exterior. The initial search revealed nothing remarkable. The house appeared ordinary, almost mundane. Yet it was this extreme orderliness that unsettled the investigators. Every item seemed unnaturally arranged, as if recently cleaned. No immediate trace. No obvious evidence. Still, the sense that the entire home was a hastily prepared scene lingered. Hours later, a crucial detail emerged. A volunteer searching for Jenny reported seeing David Hodgson walking in the forest during the days following her disappearance. The sighting was not incidental. The volunteer recalled it clearly because David Hodgson appeared constantly over his shoulder, as if fearing he was being followed. When innocent, walking in one's woods is normal. When guilty, every snapping branch becomes a threat. Investigators then delved into Mark's private life, uncovering a complex web of obsessive behaviors hidden beneath a facade of normality. Mark had had a brief relationship with Jenny months before her disappearance, a relationship the girl described as suffocating, intrusive, too intense. It had not lasted long. Jenny ended it when she realized he had a possessive attachment, leaving no room for her freedom. He was jealous, controlling, interpreting every gesture as a signal meant solely for him. After the breakup, Mark could not accept the separation. He began silently following her, appearing where she frequented, sending increasingly anxious messages. Nothing overtly threatening, nothing easily prosecutable, but enough to create a growing sense of discomfort for Jenny, one she sadly never had time to formally report. Investigators now had a motive: jealousy. An ancient emotion, capable of transforming affection into obsession, desire into control, frustration into violence. They also had a potential scenario: proximity to the forest, a failed relationship, a suspicious sighting. What remained was definitive proof. Another key detail surfaced from acquaintances. In the days leading up to Jenny's disappearance, David Hodgson purchased large amounts of bleach, gloves, and plastic bags. When asked, he claimed he was cleaning the tool shed, an apparently innocuous explanation, but in context, it took on a chilling significance. The purchase was no coincidence, it was a clue. As investigators pieced these elements together, tension in the village escalated. Jenny's family was devastated. Brian, her father, joined every search personally, walking for hours in the woods without yielding, convinced that the only way not to go mad was to keep searching. Anne, her mother, oscillated between hope and despair, unable to sleep, unable to accept the possibility her daughter might never return. Every passing day made it increasingly hard to believe Jenny was alive, but urgency grew to uncover the truth and bring the responsible party to justice. The breakthrough came when search dogs detected a precise scent trail, not toward the forest, but a small shed behind David Hodgson's house. During the first search, officers had only briefly inspected it, but this time they entered with full awareness, ready to find something significant. The shed reeked of bleach, so strong it was nearly nauseating. The walls appeared recently cleaned, as if all traces had been deliberately erased. On the floor, however, tiny dark stains remained, spots that to an expert spoke louder than 1,000 confessions. Tension skyrocketed. This shed had been the site of something, a reality too horrifying to imagine but impossible to deny. Samples were collected and sent to forensic labs. The answer would soon change everything. It was the summer of 2005, particularly bright in North Yorkshire. Fields of wheat swayed in the wind, skies seemed endless, and a gentle warmth encouraged people to spend time outdoors. Richmond was lively and serene, a crossroads for hikers, holidaying families, and young people enjoying evenings in local pubs. No one could imagine that a mysterious disappearance would soon shatter the village's calm, transforming an ordinary summer into a haunting true crime story. The central figure was Jenny Nicholl, a 19-year-old girl with bright, expressive eyes and a spontaneous charm that instantly endeared her to others. Known as cheerful yet reserved, she loved music and carried a well-worn guitar. In local pubs, she often performed for small groups of regulars, spreading a simple yet contagious joy. She sought neither fame nor attention, her passion was enough. Jenny worked part-time in a village shop, reliable, punctual, helpful. Her employer often praised her respectful attitude and adaptability. In her free time, she explored surrounding woods. Nature was not mere escape, it was part of her identity. From childhood, she found peace among trees, far from the noise of cities and life's complexities. Her parents, Brian and Anne, adored her. Living at home was natural and loving, not restrictive. Brian, a former army major, was stern outwardly but deeply affectionate. Anne was protective and empathetic, always seeking to understand and support Jenny. Their trust in her initially prevented them from fearing the worst. June 30, 2005, a date that would change everything. Jenny left home that afternoon, telling her mother she would not return that night. Not unusual, she often stayed out or went on impromptu excursions. Anne, though slightly apprehensive, respected her independence. Nothing that evening hinted it would be the last time she would see her daughter. The next day, Jenny missed a planned meeting with a friend. At first, trivial explanations seemed plausible. A forgotten time, a dead phone, a last-minute change. Hours passed, the absence weighed heavier. Calls went unanswered, messages unacknowledged. True alarm struck when she missed work on July 2nd. Those who knew her understood she would never abandon commitments unannounced. Her employer sensed something was wrong. Brian felt an inexplicable unease. By July 4th, the family went to the police, not impulsively, but driven by fear and concern. Authorities recognized the gravity. Too much time had passed, too many suspicious circumstances. In such cases, the first 72 hours are critical, and Jenny had already surpassed them. Within hours, the first troubling discovery: Jenny's car was found at the Royal Pub, an area she did not usually visit. The vehicle was locked and intact, but what was missing spoke louder than what was present. No sign Jenny had been there recently, no concrete clue, no gesture suggesting a harmless explanation. Just an icy void. From that moment, Jenny's disappearance became a high-priority case. Authorities released a public announcement with her description: height, build, clothing, hair, everything citizens needed to recognize her. The community responded immediately. Volunteers scoured the countryside, paths, forests, abandoned houses, remote areas. It was as if the entire village decided in unison, Jenny must come home. Hope began to falter when personal items were found: cosmetics, a nightdress, discovered in Sandbeck Plantation. Could Jenny have left them voluntarily? Investigators ruled it out. The area was isolated, meaningless to her, and no one would carry a nightdress during a voluntary escape. These items were a message. Someone who knew Jenny and her belongings left them there. Someone with a motive. From that point, the investigation shifted. Officers no longer sought a missing girl, they sought the hand behind her disappearance. As often happens in true crime, the truth emerged slowly, like a beast awakening from darkness. The facade of normality began to crumble. Beneath it, a figure emerged, a man whose connection to Jenny was far deeper, more dangerous, and more unexpected than anyone could have imagined. A name that initially seemed ordinary, yet impossible to ignore once spoken. Lab results came after agonizing days for Jenny's family, who lived each moment like a suspended nightmare. The analysis confirmed the investigators' worst fears: the blood traces found in the shed belonged to Jenny. This was not just a clue, it was overwhelming proof. No innocent explanation could account for a missing girl's blood in a private structure, meticulously cleaned with bleach. The discovery changed the entire investigation. What had been a race against time to find Jenny alive became a likely homicide case. Yet one key piece was still missing: the body of Jenny herself, the element linking David Hodgson definitively to her disappearance and death. Police intensified the search, focusing on several kilometers around David Hodgson's home. The forest, already combed countless times, was explored with unprecedented precision. For days, teams of officers, volunteers, search dogs, and specialized units combed every inch of terrain, every natural depression, every hidden nook. Yet the dense, ancient woodland seemed impenetrable. Investigators also scrutinized David Hodgson's life. The deeper they dug, the more a pattern emerged, a man who had learned to conceal his obsessions behind a facade of normality. He had previously had relationships with much younger women, demonstrating possessive, almost pathological behavior. Until now, no one had reported him or linked his behavior to danger. This time, however, everything was different. New details revealed a man prone to losing control, especially when feeling rejected. Witnesses said that days before Jenny's disappearance, Mark had cryptically mentioned he had something to fix. Initially overlooked, it now seemed a sinister warning. A seemingly minor discovery shifted the investigation dramatically. A pair of muddy boots found in David Hodgson's car trunk, covered with a construction tarp. The soles contained soil and plant fragments. Analysis confirmed it matched the soil from a remote forest area, previously unexplored in depth. Investigators realized they had a critical lead. If David Hodgson had walked in that forest area during Jenny's disappearance, it might hide something, or someone. Forensic teams immediately cordoned off the area and began a new, intensive search. The forest seemed almost alive, resisting discovery. Vegetation was thick, roots twisted like gnarled arms. Hours of digging revealed an anomaly, a depression where soil had been hastily disturbed months earlier. Not natural, a grave. Officers dug centimeter by centimeter until the shovel struck something other than soil. The spot was secured, and the forensic team proceeded manually. When the tarp was removed, there was no doubt, they had found Jenny. Her remains had been buried with chilling cruelty, as if the killer saw her as nothing more than an object to hide. The location was carefully chosen, secluded, protected by thick canopy and terrain that obscured visibility. There was no doubt who had committed this act. With the body recovered, police had the full picture. Only one task remained: bring David Hodgson to justice. When officers served the arrest warrant, David Hodgson reacted surprisingly composed. No protest, no attempt to flee. He stood still, hands trembling, expression oscillating between resignation and cold detachment, as if he had long anticipated this moment. During interrogation, David Hodgson remained calm but ambiguous. He denied all responsibility, calling the evidence fabricated. He claimed no motive to harm Jenny, asserting someone was trying to frame him, that the blood in the shed was not his because he had nothing to hide. Every statement, however, fell flat. The evidence was overwhelming: obsessive messages, blood traces, eyewitness testimony, grave location, muddy boots, suspicious purchases before her disappearance. The case against David Hodgson was both solid and devastating. The trial drew enormous media attention. The community was in shock, unable to fathom that a known, local man could commit such a heinous crime. Jenny's family endured every session with near superhuman strength, driven solely by the urgent need for justice. Prosecution evidence painted David Hodgson as dangerous, manipulative, incapable of accepting rejection. A man who, faced with losing control over someone he believed belonged to him, chose violence as the only solution. The defense attempted to create doubt, exploiting potential contradictions. But the evidence was undeniable. The shed, the forest grave, obsessive messages, all pointed in the same direction. When the verdict came, the courtroom was silent. Guilty of murder. Guilty beyond reasonable doubt. The sentence was severe, as it should be: life imprisonment with a minimum of 28 years before parole. For Jenny's family, It did not erase the pain but restored a fragment of justice. Yet even with the killer behind bars, one question lingered: why? Why had a man gone this far? Why had Jenny, so young and full of life, crossed paths with someone capable of destroying her? No answer could ever fully suffice. No explanation could fill the void left by her absence. In the years that followed, the community struggled to heal and move forward, determined not to let the shadow of this crime poison everything. But Jenny's memory remained, fragile yet luminous, like a candle in the night. Her story became a warning, a painful testament that behind ordinary faces, unimaginable darkness can hide. A story teaching the importance of noticing warning signs, trusting instincts, and never assuming people are as they seem. Today, at the forest where Jenny was found, a small memorial stands, a bouquet replaced each month, a photo protected from rain in a plastic frame, and a handwritten note reading simply, "We have not forgotten you." Perhaps this is the ultimate act of resistance, remembering Jenny not for what was done to her, but for who she was. A brilliant, creative, free-spirited girl, whose life was ended by a man unable to accept that love cannot be demanded. A man who believed he could control everything, except the truth that would ultimately condemn him. It is for Jenny, and all the victims who can no longer speak, that these stories must be told. Memory is the only weapon against darkness. Thank you for watching this episode of Dark Files Crime Stories. If this mystery captivated you, leave a like, share the video, and comment below. Subscribe to our channel and join our community of shadow seekers. Remember, every crime has a story, and here, we tell it all.